how does that impact the draft? Well, I really don't think we're going to select a quarterback in the first or second round now. It really does feel like we're going to, like, because, I mean, what do you have to offer? Like, I just cannot see trading the farm for Caleb Williams. I just can't see it. I think, you have other options that are going to lift your team up significantly more than if you just draft. And, I could be completely fucking wrong about that. But I think a lot of people think that, like, the draft is not the answer, but a lot of people think the draft is a cure-all. And that if you are projected to be a number 2 pick, that you're going to be, a perennial Super Bowl, Pro Bowl, All-Pro quarterback. How many fucking guys? I mean, just go through the ranks. Like, how many guys have really paid off? And then you look at the guys that, like, I don't know. Like, just don't get your hopes up too much. I don't know. I don't know if he has enough draft capital. And now that one of the second rounders is gone, I feel less confident in drafting a quarterback in the second round. And I really like the idea of selecting a wide receiver at this point. I really like the idea of it. And if Marvin Harrison Jr. is not available, like, I guess there was a vote amongst the staff of, I don't know who, The Athletic maybe, where they all voted for who would be this number 6 pick. And Harrison got the most votes with Malik Neighbors, Roma Dunze, and Joe Alt and Sean Latham? No, not Sean Latham. Latham is the last name. I think it's a offensive lineman for Bama. Each got a vote. Oh, NFL executives. 4 of the 6 execs had the Giants selecting receiver, but there wasn't strong conviction regarding which receiver would be the choice. Harrison could go to the Cardinals at number 4, which would leave Odunze for the Giants at 6. Neighbors has more speed, while Dunze is more possession, big, strong, physical. They might go with Dunze just because they took the speed guy of Tennessee last year, and this would be a good compliment. I don't hate that. I also listened to like a interview with Malik Neighbors, and that dude is cocky as fuck. And honestly, it sounded like he wanted was not too intrigued by the idea of being with the Giants. He's just like, yeah, we had a talk. It wasn't bad. It's like, okay, great. And there's so many goddamn smoke screens, so I wouldn't be shocked if, like, Dable or Shane talked to him and said, hey, please play this down, because we want to play this the right way. We don't want anyone to know that we're, like, really into you, so don't tell anyone we're really into you, so that you can follow us. But my God, Neighbors, Slayton, and Hyatt, and Wandale in the same field. I know people have their qualms, about the Giants wide receivers, but the whole bugaboo that really was bringing that core down for a long time was their lack of separation. But I'm pretty sure they stepped it up last year, and they had a lot more separation. And it was just a matter of, like, the fucking protection wasn't there. The guy didn't have the time to see the separation. And when they gave Tyrod Taylor and Tommy DeVito time, the separation was there. They were able to make the throws. I'm telling you. So, if you are the Giants and J.J. McCarthy is there, I think you have to take him, one exec said. It doesn't mean they will do it. They desperately need offensive line. Let's just give them Joe Alt. I could see them saying, if Jones doesn't work this year, we will have another top 10 pick next year and worry about it then. And I had that same kind of train of thought, but at the same time, it's like, isn't this the better class? Like, I think this is considered one of the best QB classes, I think. I could be wrong about that. But, and I don't know what the fuck to think about J.J. McCarthy. Is he another Tom Brady? A guy that, like, didn't really hit the heights of fame and fortune at Michigan, but then comes into the NFL and like has the same kind of work ethic and is able to excel. I don't know. Would I be upset if they took J.J. McCarthy in the second round? Maybe not. But I just feel like you just have quarterback. I don't know. It just feels like there are other positions. Like, okay, I think you have your center now, John Michael Schmitz. You have your guards. And you have your tackles, I think. But so now it's the pressure to go out there and draft a Joe Alt or the dude from Penn State, Falashawana, whatever his name is not as high. It's like, all right, that takes a little bit of the pressure off of us to take it in the first round, or to do that and maybe just take a look at the later rounds, 3rd, 4th, 5th, to go after like another tackle, depth at guard or tackle. But wide receiver, yeah. My God, that group got a lot of shit, but like Wandale came on pretty strong towards the end. Slayton, I still think I like the dude, and I think he can make plays, big plays. Same with Hyatt, big play potential. So you had a fourth, a guy that Odunze is very intriguing. 6'3", 217. He's number 7th overall on the big board and the 3rd top wide receiver. He can secure catches in crowded areas, create explosive plays downfield, and pass catching instincts and competitive focus to be a high-end NFL starter. So I like that. But then there's the news about Darren Waller, like considering retirement. It's like, oh my God, dude. That trade now looks not so great. It's like, I don't think anyone won that trade at this point. I guess we did slightly, maybe. But the fact that he's considering retirement is not... I mean, let's see how that panned out. I mean, for Michael Strahan, he was considering retirement, and they went to the Super Bowl and won. And then Tiki Barber was considering retirement, and then actually did retire, and then the Giants went to the Super Bowl and won. So, I don't know. Maybe it's a good omen. I don't know. I think I'll hang it up, and they're like, no, come on, we got a chance, I don't think so. I think he's going to be another season of like he shows like a flash here or there in a game or two, and then he's hurt for most of the season. So, am I opposed to drafting Brock Bowers at number 6, tight end? Bowers is more of an offensive weapon than a traditional tight end. Got some offensive attributes that may be hard to pass on, and with Waller being on the fence, do you have enough confidence? I think this is also a very deep wide receiver class as well. So there's that, It's like, do we feel like we can get maybe we get a wide receiver with a 2nd round pick, but this is like the best tight end in the draft, ranked 5th on the big board overall. I would not hate that move. I wouldn't hate it. Some other guys that are in consideration for the pick at 6, Terrion Arnold, cornerback out of Alabama. Yeah, I do think that the cornerback has not necessarily been addressed yet. And considering that we're losing Adoree, Darnay, feels like that needs to be a big time priority in the draft. Which I feel like we say that every fucking year. Corner. And it's not like they haven't tried. I mean, they have drafted corners almost every year. And not a lot of them are panning out. So, I don't know. Cordell Flott, Hawkins, Trey Hawkins, It's just like, come on, someone step up. Dallas Turner, edge rusher from Alabama, 6'4", 242. Top edge rusher in the draft. I don't see that. I mean, with the Burns trade, I don't see that happening, right? That's definitely off the table. J.C. Latham, offensive tackle from Alabama, 6'6", 335. 3rd top offensive tackle. Again, I think with the writings on the wall, when you sign a Luminor and you have Evan Neal, that's kind of like there's your 2 guys for tackle. So I don't think they go tackle. And maybe they double down on guard. They're like, Luminor we feel more confident in Luminor as right tackle. We'll try and get Evan Neal to play right guard, but let's also draft a right guard in case Evan Neal is a absolute disaster. And then there are the guys that are unlikely to be there at 6, Caleb Williams, Drake May. They're saying Harrison, Neighbors, and Daniels probably not there. So, but as far as Neighbors goes, tantalizing speed, bigger frame, 6'2" hundo, and definitely fun to think about. But I get the vibe that either this is like an incredible genius troll smokescreen, or like I just don't see him landing with us. And then they have a couple players that it would make more sense if we trade back, which the trade back I'm not opposed to. Don't reach. And if you feel like you can get a guy later on, trade back. I'm all for it. I think they will benefit more from a trade back than they would, if I don't know how this is possible, but if you have Williams, May, Daniels off the board, Neighbors, Odunze off the board. Who is the 3rd receiver? Is there a 3rd one? Did I miss it? Yeah. Harrison, Neighbors, Odunze. So I just don't see. Yeah, maybe there is not, unless Daniels does not go. That's going to be the big decision. Like if Daniels does not go 3, does he fall to us at 6, and do you take him? I just don't see it. I don't see taking that. I really do still think, Rich Eisen saying that Daniel Jones is absolutely done in New York. Get out of here, dude. Just go take a long stroll. Short pier. Absolutely done in New York. Like that. I feel like he said that to get clicks and the views, and it's just like, do you really believe that, dude? That was the hullabaloo at the combine, was that Daniel Jones is absolutely done. I just don't believe it. And yeah, people are pointing to like drafting Eli Manning when you just signed Kurt Warner, or you move on from Kerry Collins after one injury. He missed 12 games, I think, a whole slew of games in 2003 due to injury. And so now you're just going to move on from him, and then you're going to draft. And it's like, I don't think that's the same. And I know we made the case of like, okay, Jalen Hurts is drafted after you give a big contract to Wentz. Okay. Love is drafted when you already have Aaron Rodgers. Okay. It's just different. I don't know. It feels different. So I wouldn't be opposed to a trade back. I don't know what situation that would happen, because it's hard. For me, it would be hard to pass on one of the top 3 receivers. And then that leaves you with, well, then if the top 3 receivers go before you, that means Daniels has to be available. So you take Daniels or trade back. And if you're putting me on the spot and you got a firearm to the old bean, I think I'm going to say trade back. And that is why I am not likable, relatable, or popular. And my texts in the group text severely ignored or put down. Brian Thomas Jr., 6'4", 205 from LSU, is the number 4 wide receiver, number 14th overall on the big board. It could be interesting. The Broncos or Raiders might be looking to move up from their 12 or 13 slots, and could be trading partners with the Giants. So that could be something to consider, I guess. Former basketball recruit with unique body movements for size. Kinky. FBS best, 17 touchdowns in 2023. The most by a Power 5 receiver since Heisman winner Devontae Smith. That son of a bitch. Troy Fontenot, a guard. Washington Huskies, 6'4", 319. Again, I don't think you would trade back to select a guard with your first pick, would you? He's the top guard in the draft. Oh boy. To be a fly on the wall in that fucking war room. God, how much money would you have to pay? Sign an NDA, encrypt that shit. Talise Fuaga, offensive tackle, Oregon State, 6'5", 332, 4th overall tackle. Meh. Olu Fashanu. Okay, so this is the Penn State guy, 6'6", 321. He's the 2nd best tackle overall. I just, I don't think it's going to happen. Quinion Mitchell, a corner from Toledo, 6'1", 199. 11th on the big board. Number 2 corner overall. I don't hate that. As much as we all want a wide receiver 1, and the opportunity will most likely present itself at 6, maybe he'll trade up in the 2nd round to get a corner. I wouldn't hate that, because we desperately need a fucking corner opposite Deontay Banks. I mean, I like Nick McLeod, but it would be nice to, like, I don't know if I want to put all my chips. I don't know if I want to put all my chips on his number. J.J. McCarthy, like I talked about, is the 4th ranked top quarterback in the draft, 24th overall on the big board. 27-1 as a starter with a national championship. Yeah, I don't think where would they trade back to? Not that deep to get McCarthy. I don't know. Tyler Guyton, Oklahoma Sooners tackle, 6'7", 328. Byron Murphy, the 2nd defensive tackle, 6'1", 308. Defensive tackle is also an interesting position to be in as well, because you lose Ashawn Robinson. You have Nacho, but is Nacho, did he do anything really that special? And you do have DJ Davidson, who, when he's healthy and on the field, can be a nice contributor. I wouldn't say he's he's really going to make the leap to the next level, but I also don't think he's like a piece of shit. I don't think they're going to go edge rusher. Keon Coleman, wide receiver, Florida State, 6'4", 215, is the 5th ranked wide receiver overall, 28th on the big board. Size, he's got the size, can overpower defenders. big play opportunities. I like the idea of a big physical receiver. You know, if they decide to move on from Hodgins, or they feel like Hodgins, they'll bring Hodgins back, but he's not the guy. It's just another big body to have. Cam Coleman's an interesting prospect. But then again, you know, yeah, this is if you trade back. Because if you don't trade back, why wouldn't you just take Odunze? Chop Robinson at edge, nope. And then other quarterbacks to consider: Bo Nix, Michael Penix Jr., Spencer Rattler. I'm a hard no on Spencer Rattler. And it's for a stupid reason. I saw a video of him, and it was just like, you arrogant son of a bitch. It's like, I can't get behind you. I don't care how many games you win. So I was like, nah, I'm all right with that. Penix Jr., you know, I think I've said it before, but like the injury history is really scary. But he does have a fucking arm and a half, so that is intriguing. And then Bo Nix. I mean, Bo Nix and Penix are both older, on the older side. They're like 24. It feels like they're 34 at this point. I feel like I've heard Bo Nix's name since the dawn of time. Penix is the roll of the dice. I wouldn't hate Bo Nix in the second round, maybe. I don't know. We have not had a 1,000-yard receiver since 2018. Oh, boy. So, yeah, that's the draft. I mean, in terms of the second round, we still have that second round pick from the Seahawks for Leonard Williams. They have Javon Bullard, safety from Georgia, and I like it a lot. But you do have Pennock and Belton, and you just signed Jalen Mills. So honestly, I mean, that's like if you went corner in the first round, I think you would go safety in the second. I can't see them going safety in the second when you still have corner being such a glaring hole in the defense. But that's the episode. All Giants, baby. Let's go Big Blue.